Hello and welcome to the overview for the Honest John Car Sales web portal, CMS and IMS systems. All three modules are written in PHP using the CodeIgniter framework, and I've used a bootstrap template to give a nice consistent view to all three models. We'll start with the web portal, and here we have a fairly standard home page and an about us page, a very quick contact us page where the customer can fill in standard name, email address, as you would expect, and submit, and then gets the submitted message. On the services page, we have a list of the services provided by the garage. These are just images. It was one of the intentions was to turn these into links with further details, but this was considered less important than some of the deeper functionality of the CMS and IMS systems, and therefore it wasn't possible to complete this in the timescale given. We have a link here to the news and offers page. These offers are generated by the CMS system, and we'll show you that shortly, and this is the list of offers that are currently available. If we go to the home page, and you'll see from here we can view a list of all of the vehicles that are currently for sale, which includes some headline details, a nice image of all of the vehicles. Down here you'll see this is actually an advertising banner, and this too is controlled by the CMS, and we'll look at that again shortly. If you click on the view the image, this is the full details for the vehicle, which shows the images, all of the details, and down here you can see there's the option for the customer to request booking a test drive. Again, they can put in their name and their email address and a contact number. The vehicle details are actually pulled from the previous page and automatically filled in, and we have a nice little date picker that allows the customer to select their preferred test drive date. Again, once submitted, they just get a nice standard submitted message. And if we go back to the home page now, and we'll log in and we'll look at the systems that operate the website in the background, there are actually two levels of access to the system. That is the staff level of access and the administrator level of access. And the staff level of access actually only lets that staff member into the CMS system, whereas administrators have access to both the CMS and IMS systems. From within the CMS, we can view all of the vehicles that are currently for sale. This is similar to the web portal view of the page, but from here we can actually edit the vehicle details as well, including the images, the description, as you would expect. We can add a new vehicle to the system. Here's how we can add all of the details. And on the vehicle list page earlier, you saw the offer banner, which was, if we pull that page up here, you see this offer banner just here at the bottom of the page. From within the CMS workbench, we can edit that banner, and we can simply just select the other image that we want to go in there, and then we click on update the banner. If we go back to this page and refresh, you see the banner there has now been updated. Additionally, within the CMS portal, we can look at the news feeds. These are the news posts you saw earlier with there, and we can add a news post very easily with Don't Forget Us, and we've got some nice pre-built content here which we can just drop in, so we can do this nice and quickly. He says, and you can see that it actually here the submission is actually time and date stamped. Interestingly, the server is actually on GMT, whereas we have now switched to BST, and this is something that I would obviously look at fixing for the final release. And we click on the news item. If we go to the news page here, you can see that new news item has now been added to that page, and from in here we can see the back end view of that page. Within the CMS, we also have the ability to send emails to all of our customers, and this will send an email to all of the registered customers, or we can send to a select customer, which pulls all of the customer email addresses from the base, and we can choose the customer that we want to send to. Type in a quick message, and again I can just drop some content in here quickly so we can show you this, and then we can submit that, and you get the message that the mail has been sent. And that bleep there is hopefully my phone saying that that's been received. So if we just click here, yeah, the desktop version is grab it, and there's the new email from Honest John, and there's the content. Your car has passed its MOT. Fantastic. If we're going to say we've got the options to send to all customers or just send to a selected customer. If we now log out as a staff member and we log in as an administrator, you now see we have access to both the CMS and IMS systems, and we go into the IMS, and again we can view all of the vehicles. This is a slightly different view. This contains details that are more pertinent within the IMS system, and it also shows us the status, the current status of the vehicle. You see we have one marked as sold here. We go back into the workbench, we can add a new vehicle. That's the same as doing it through the CMS, and this is where we can actually sell a vehicle, which is based on the registration number, who it is sold by, and who it is sold to. So if we pick one of the vehicles, and it was sold, well, sold by me, and we sold it to Mrs. Customer, and the sale date again with a nice date picker was today's date, and we sold it for £4,500, and the salesman earned 8% commission. We've got a nice little JavaScript calculator here, which will calculate the commission at £360. And we can sell the vehicle. If we now view all of the vehicles, you'll see that that vehicle here is now actually marked within the database as sold, and it will not now appear as part of the details in the CMS. If we go back to the workbench, we can view all of our customers from here, and here's Mrs. Customer, who we just sold the car to, and if we edit her details, we can see we can edit any of her details, and here's a list of the vehicles that customer has associated with them, and you'll see here's the last vehicle that we just sold to her. You can add a vehicle to the customer record, which is when you can then put in all of the new details that you need to. And if we go back in here, this is where we come into the staff management, and we can view all of the staff. And if we look at me, you see when I edit my details, you see here's all of my staff details as you would expect to see. Additionally, on the right hand side, you can see here's commission earnings from selling vehicles, and you can see here for May, here's the £360 I just earned for selling the vehicle to Mrs. Customer, and I can hit pay commission, which will move the monthly commission and add it to the annual commission. So if we do that now, and we come back in and we look at me, you can see that it's actually been moved and the annual commission has been correctly calculated. We can add a new member of staff, which is exactly as you'd expect, and this is where we can add a new user account for the system, for the IMS and CMS systems, and here's where we set whether it's a user or administrator account. We've done that. Now down here we have where you can create new jobs in terms of servicing, MOTs, repairs, etc. If I click on create a new job, and it will bring up the calendar, and you see we've got a few jobs already here, and they're divided up into MOTs, repairs and servicing, and the calendar can show all of them, or if I just want to see the services, or if I just want to see the repairs, or we can see everything that's there at the moment. I click on add an event, a nice rich functionality here on the event adding, and here we can add an email address, and this is actually the mechanic who would do the job, and a reminder will be sent to that person on the day that job is due. So let's do, it's going to be a repair for Mrs. Customer, because she's just damaged her brand new Toyota Aygo. And we'll get it in. We can see we've got a nice gap. It can do multi-events on multiple days, and it can also do multiple days for an event. In this case just a single one, but we'll get her in nice and early in the morning on that, and you can see the category is a repair. You can actually add an image to this event, so if it was you wanted to show damages or things like that, you could do as well. And we'll click on save, and that takes just a second. And there, the event has now been successfully added to the calendar. And so if we look in here, we can see that we now have Mrs. Customer's repair on May the 12th. And that again, that's the email just confirming that I've created that appointment, and I will be emailed again on the morning that appointment takes place. So that gives us the ability to manage servicing, booking and MOTs for all of the customers through the back end of the IMS workbench. And again, the calendar here view goes to the current schedule which we just saw. And that's fairly much it for the Honest John web portal, CMS and IMS systems. Thank you very much for listening.